It's time now for the address to the membership by our president. This year marks an historic occasion for us, as it will be the first presidential address to be given by a person who has also served as president of our youth association. It's been my pleasure to work with this gentleman for a number of years and with him very closely during the past 4 years. He is a true fan and active participant in the American quarter horse lifestyle. Although breeding and showing halter horses is his game now, he started out riding them at a very young age and has been hooked on them ever since. His first trip to Tulsa for the youth finals was in 1986. His service to AQHA began first in our youth association when he became an officer of the American Junior Quarter Horse Association in 1989, serving as its second vice president. He returned a year later with his eyes set on becoming the president of AQHA, which he accomplished. He became an AQHA director in 2001 and has served on the youth and public policy committees and was the first vice chair of the Nominations and Credentials Committee when it was made a full standing committee in 2007. He was elected to the AQHA Executive Committee in 2008 and served his 4th year on the committee as president. Please welcome the 62nd president of the American Quarter Horse Association, Peter Cofrancesco.
Good morning. Thanks, Don. I'd like to start this morning by telling you a story. A nice, calm, and respectable lady went into the pharmacy, walked up to the pharmacist, looked straight into his eyes, and said, "I'd like to buy some cyanide." The pharmacist asked, "Why in the world do you need cyanide?" The lady replied, "I need to poison my husband." The pharmacist's eyes got big and he exclaimed, "Lord, have mercy. I can't give you any cyanide to kill your husband. It's against the law. I'll lose my license. They'll throw both of us in jail. All kinds of bad things will happen." "Absolutely not. You cannot have any cyanide." The lady reached into her purse and pulled out a picture of her husband in bed with the pharmacist's wife. The pharmacist looked at the picture and replied, "Well, now, that's different. You didn't tell me you had a prescription." It's been said that a life lived without passion or a life lived without dreams really isn't a life lived at all. I don't say that lightly, but I hope I leave you with one thing today, that is the courage to live your passion and fulfill your dreams. After this previous year, and certainly during my time on the executive committee, I've realized more than ever that life is short and can change in an instant. It gives me great joy to say it's great to be here today, standing before you in concluding my term as president of the American Quarter Horse Association. It's been an incredible journey that takes you places you never thought you'd go, and along that journey you meet and make many lasting friendships. Many of my friends are here today, and they, along with the experiences I have gained, I got the nicest looking mustache in that picture. And I only had mine for a day, and it grew like that. Many of my friends are here today, and they, along with the experiences I've gained, have had a profound impact on my life. I owe much of what I've done and who I am to the American Quarter Horse, but even more to my mother and father. Since I was very young, it has been a lifestyle our family embraced together. And since his untimely passing 10 years ago, it's been my mother who has kept our family moving forward. I told you last year when I accepted the presidency that I always thought it would be my father standing here today. For better or for worse, life has a way of sometimes this is early in my speech to get this happening. For better or for worse, life has a way of sometimes taking a path we never truly expect. I only hope that I have lived and measured up and made you as proud as I know my father would have been. Where's Scoop? My life started like any horse-crazy kid. I started with a pony, then and my parents bought me my first horse, Fred Riker. And that began my competitive life with horses. We started showing some of the 4-H and open shows, and then moved on to some of the AQHA shows in the Northeast. I often said that he was more human than horse, and like any good horse, he taught me as well as my brothers and sister how to ride. I showed Fred Riker in all the Western events. I would have even shown him English, but let's just say the clothes just didn't suit me. If there was one horse I'd clone, sorry, Chad, it would have been him, and I would have had one made for every one of my kids, nieces, and nephews. After showing around home several years with a couple of geldings, Sporty Phil and Dr. Apple, we purchased from Mike Hughes, we purchased a halter gelding from Wayne Pooley named Rockstar Bandit. And he enabled me to be competitive at some of the largest shows, winning the halter and the youth pleasure at the same show. And as the saying goes, the rest is history. I remember my first Youth World Show in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1986. Jeffrey loaded the horses and I up and headed south. I didn't have my license at the time, and he wasn't stopping. So occasionally he allowed me to slip behind the wheel for a bit on the highway so he could rest. Sorry, Mom. At this time, there were very few kids from the Northeast attending the Youth World Show, and none from New Jersey. So I knew no one, not a single person. And to say I was a little nervous is a huge understatement. When we finally pulled into the fairgrounds, my nerves got the best of me, and I figured I'd just stay in the truck. After being parked for 15 minutes in 100-degree heat, that didn't work. So I decided to get out. Everywhere I looked, there were kids, and mostly girls. At last, I found heaven on earth. On the short walk to my stalls, a girl pedaled her bike over to me and introduced herself. She was from Florida, and she seemed to know a few people, and after visiting for a few minutes, she invited me to the Florida stalls that night for a little gathering of friends. So I continued on to my stalls, a lot more comfortable and happy that I made my first friend in Tulsa. After 26 years, she's still one of my good friends. Her name's Robin Griggs. When I arrived at that same Tulsa fairgrounds the next year, I knew every single person on that fairgrounds. So thank you, Robin. One of the next people I met was a beautiful girl from Elkhorn, Nebraska. Jenny Frid. Because of that show in my life with American Quarter Horses, Jenny and her husband Robin, the luckiest man I know, have become some of the best friends I could have ever hoped to make. This past year when I got sick, I received an outpouring of love, support, and encouragement from so many people. It was overwhelming to me. Many of you were in this room. Your cards and your messages were a tremendous help to me as I recovered. There aren't words to describe my gratitude. During my 72-day stay in the hospital, there were several weeks where I would not have known if the Pope came to see me. However, when I started to feel a bit better, I was able to let my family know that I didn't want to see anyone. And I have to say, my brothers are good like that. I'm sure they threatened every nurse and aide on my floor that if anyone got in, there would be a big problem. One afternoon, Carmen came into my room and seemed a bit upset. After convincing her to tell me, she says, "Someone's coming to see you." I said, "No way. I don't want to see anyone like this. I have my hospital gown on. I have wires and stuff coming from everywhere." She started crying and said she was very sorry, but it was too bad. She'll be here tomorrow, and please, whatever you do, don't tell your brothers. Anyway, tomorrow came, and in she walked. After flying from Dallas to New Jersey, she made her way into my hospital room, probably stretching the truth about who she was. Pushing aside two nurses, there was Jenny. I couldn't have been happier to see her, and we talked for several hours and shared a great conversation. Jenny, I love you, and thank you for your friendship. Jenny is now helping me design a line of hospital gowns that split up the side instead of the back. I'm going to make a lot of money. Showing American Quarter Horses gave me the confidence I needed to ultimately decide to run for office with the American Junior Quarter Horse Association. And in 1990, I became president of our youth association, fulfilling a dream I had during my teenage years. I'm especially proud of the friends I've made over my many years as a youth and now as an adult. It gives me great pleasure to reflect on those friendships and to have had many of those friends here with us in Las Vegas for our first ever Tulsa Time reunion. The horse may have brought us together, but the love and friendships we share with each other keeps us bound in a way I wish all of you could experience. I'm blessed by the friends I've made because of our horse. Just on a little side note here, that boy on my shoulders, I just found out, because I had lost track of who, the ages here. That boy on my shoulders is 27 years old today. So, after serving as president of AQHA and continuing to stay involved and ultimately becoming an AQHA director, I remember thinking that I could become president of AQHA. That trip to today started more than 26 years ago. And while time does go by in the blink of an eye, I am honored to have accomplished these goals and humbled to know that without so many of you, I would not be standing here today. For your confidence and the trust you've placed in me, you have my most sincere thanks. You have helped me live my life's passion. Before I leave the topic of our youth, and I have to tell you I'm excited about what lies ahead for our youth program, I want to recognize someone else who's very important in my life. In fact, she's the current AQHA President, Abigail Bate. I couldn't be prouder of you and your accomplishments within AQHA. You have so much promise, and I know you'll go far. Showing brought its fair share of fate into my life, but none so greater than in 1996. At the All-American Quarter Horse Congress, we'd been there a lot over the years, but this year would be different. That was the year that a girl, not a horse, caught my eye. And I met the person who'd become my wife. Thank you for everything. I love you, and I'm looking forward to the many years that lie ahead for us. Carmen was involved with showing horses in AQHA and NRHA competition, and actually showed in college as well on the IHSA English team. I'm a lucky man to get to share a love of horses with my wife. Most of you know we have 3 children, Ireland 11, Peter 8, and Emma 6. They're the best kids a man could have hoped for. And when they heard there was a bowling alley and movie theater here at South Point, they wanted to come.
Because you can ride on them. They're fast, big, and strong.
I don't have a favorite kind of horse. I like all horses in general. Like, it really doesn't matter to me. Reggie and Cookie.
Happy. Princess Horse, Bugsy, Lexi, and Diego. Pretty much playing with my friends.
That I like watching people ride, and I learned from them.
I love talking to people and just like riding and having fun. It's all about having fun. It's all that matters. I want to be a professional basketball player. I play that that's all I do every single season.
Ride horses.
I want to be a brain surgeon or a cowboy.
Yes.
Why?
Because to see my video.
Yes, because I want to be there with my dad and my mom a lot because my dad is the AQHA President.
Yes.
Why do you want to go?
Because I heard the hotel is really cool and has a bowling alley and a pool.
He travels a lot.
He took charge of stuff.
He ran the whole AQHA committee, told everyone what to do and make the right decisions. He took the chances of being the president. Opportunities like this just don't come every day.
He's the AQHA President. Stay home and be with us.
Stay here and have some more time with us.
I hope he can go to more horse shows and that he could be there and support me and my brother and my sister, and we just have a lot of fun with it.
No.
I just want to say, I'll see you at the shows.
I hope you have a good 2012. Bye.
Go to Disney World!
My parents gave... Just as my parents gave me the opportunity to be involved with horses, Carmen and I are providing every opportunity we can to give Ireland, Peter, and Emma the same opportunity. When my father passed away in 2000, my siblings and I assumed various leadership roles at the concrete manufacturing, waste, and recycling company my parents founded, known as Grinnell Companies. I can tell you that my family's success both in and out of the show ring has been earned and not given to us, and I'm very proud of that. My parents were born and raised in Paterson, New Jersey, the third largest city in New Jersey, in a pretty tough part of town. When I was growing up, we lived on the second floor of a two-family house and shared a small bedroom with my sister and brother. With only 100 square foot of grass, this wasn't the usual surroundings that typical horse people were raised. I remember asking my mother what it was like at the Congress when she was younger and who was stalled in the Gilligan barn then. She was quick to say that when she and my father attended the Congress early on, they never went to the Gilligan because they didn't know anyone. And they went to all the seminars to take notes at the Congress. We have been very fortunate over the years to breed and show some great horses, but when my parents started showing, they would hope there were only 6 horses in a class so they would be assured a ribbon. These stories are very humbling to me. Through hard work, setting their sights on building a good business and a good horse operation, they both provided us with a path that we might not otherwise have had. And they raised some great kids. Daria, Jason, and Jared have done a lot for me, and I could not have asked for more supportive brothers and sisters. In my remarks to the board of directors last year, there were some things I wanted to see happen, which I shared with you. Maintain a balanced budget. You will hear Trent's report, and we will continue to keep a watchful eye on the association's finances, even in turbulent conditions. Leveling, well underway, with one pilot show completed and another one set to take place this week. I'm excited about the advances we're making as it relates to showing American quarter horses. Rejuvenate the incentive fund. We made some bold changes to the fund, and I hope all of you will support these changes. It is the benchmark that others have copied, and we need to keep it financially sound. Develop engaging and creative programs and earmark appropriate manpower and funds to attract young people active with American quarter horses. Digital oats will be great, and I hope those of you who have talked to us about our youth will now help us support this endeavor. Fully explore a for-profit entity that would seek business opportunities outside the AQHA structure. Again, we are well underway. Awards and recognition concepts debuted this year. You heard about it, and our work for outside associations continues to gain traction. Through contacts and working with members, reach out and attract non-traditional sponsors to AQHA. This remains a challenging environment, but I have confidence we will make inroads and attract sponsors who want to reach our members and owners who are loyal to those who support their passion. Explore the possibility of returning American quarter horse racing to parts of the Northeast. This is a project I will continue with as we seek new opportunities for the world's fastest horse. I am pleased that so much was accomplished last year. Throughout this convention, you've heard about many of these priorities. These weren't just my personal priorities. They were in concert with what you as committee members and directors had previously established. My goal was just to focus on them and see that progress was made. I owe a lot to my fellow executive committee members, and as I step down as president, I know I'm leaving one of the best teams a person could ever have served with. George, you and Nicole are visible, listening to and helping our members where you can. I know you'll both enjoy your time on the executive committee, and I hope your travels are productive and rewarding. George Phillips and his wife, Nicole. Trotter. You've challenged us to do better. You've been a voice of reason. I look forward to our next adventure together. Johnny Trotter and his wife, Jana, who is never without a smile or her camera, and she always lights up the room with her personality. Please stand. Johnny Dobbs. What can I say? You've known me since I was a child, in my summers in Tuscola, and I know it's been hard for you not to call me Little Peter in our executive committee meetings. You've been like a mother, but more important than anything, you and your family have included us as part of your family, and I'm grateful for that. You also represent so many of our everyday members with your style, knowledge, and kindness. The first mother to become president of AQHA, Johnny Dobbs. Gene, you and Barbara are great ambassadors of the horse and the association. Your ability to meet people and immediately put them at ease is inspiring. Thank you for filling in for me this past summer. Your next AQHA president, Gene Graves, and his wife, Barbara. Thank you all for everything you've done for me. I also need to recognize one other person who was really supposed to be here this year. I think all of you knew Dick Monahan, one of the greatest people I've ever had the chance to meet. Dick lost his battle to cancer, but I can tell you in no uncertain terms that he and Brenda would have ranked among the best presidents and first ladies ever to have served AQHA. I know Dick continues to watch over us, and we are lucky to have Brenda here with us today. Brenda, your enthusiasm has always been infectious, and we all miss our friend Dick. Is Brenda in here? If she is, please stand. Two other family members of mine are here today I'd like to introduce and thank are my favorite cousin Dana and Carmen's sister Dawn Schaefer. I call him my favorite cousin Dana. Everybody's asking, you know, when we have a gathering or a family event of some sort, I have like 200 cousins. And it's like a big joke at home. Dana's my favorite cousin, so. Anyway, a few other people I need to recognize are people who gave me the confidence and instilled their trust in me by helping me make it to where I am today. Jim Barton, shortly I'll join you as a past president from our neck of the woods. Thank you for believing in me and reaching out to me when you thought I was ready to be part of AQHA's executive committee. You and Doris will always be very special people in my life. And while she hasn't been here for the last few years, but she's always been a champion of the horse, a champion of this association, and she championed me by telling me for many, many years that she truly believed I could become president of AQHA. I'm speaking of our friend Mildred Janowitz. She'll be forever one of the most influential supporters I have known, and I know it's been sad to her that she hasn't been able to be active with AQHA the past few years. Lastly, Merle Wood, like many of you, especially those who grew up through AQHA, Merle touched my life in profound ways. He was on the Youth Activities Committee when I was president of AQHA, and like Mildred, he encouraged me and supported me in ways that only Merle could. Well, as I become a past president, many people have asked me what I plan on doing. I can tell you that I plan on doing a lot of the same things I've always done. I know you'll be seeing me around, and I could also tell you that my family and I are looking forward to showing more regularly now that my time on the executive committee has come to a close. It is something we've missed over the last few years. I'd also like to recognize a guy who's been part of our family for 26 years. 26 years. In my opinion, he's one of the best horsemen in the industry. He epitomizes the word professional. You met his daughter earlier, Jeffrey Pate and his wife Bronwyn. We traveled many miles together. Thank you for all you do for us. I love you both. Please stand up. I'd also like to thank Chris Thompson, who has helped us for many years. I truly appreciate her kindness and ability. I've had a lot of good times, especially the couple years I ventured into the pleasure driving. She got all my children started and sat in a saddle. It's one of the prettiest people I know inside and out. Of course, I want to thank the staff of AQHA, many of whom, past and present, have become close friends to Carmen and I. I know you've heard it before, but your staff at AQHA works hard, and they care about our association. They are dedicated and want to do well, and I appreciate each one of them and cherish the friends in Amarillo that I've made. I especially want to thank Don and his wife, Robin. Don has had a busy run since becoming AQHA Executive Vice President, and he has handled this challenge and steered AQHA well as we move through this decade. Don, thank you. Robin, thank you for all your hospitality and grace, and for allowing me to ransack your kitchen in January for a dinner and an evening that was unforgettable. To say it's been a great ride is an understatement. I've saved thanking a very special person in my life to the end, and I think all of you know who I'm talking about. She's the matriarch of our family and has held us together through the best of times and through the worst. It's been said that no influence is so powerful as that of a mother. And each day, of my adult life, my mother continues to influence me, the direction I take, and the decisions I make. She has passed on her love of this industry, to me and her grandchildren. Because of the love of my mother, I'm a better and more fortunate man. I'd like to ask my mother to stand. I think I got through all the hard parts. As I recently said, it's still strange to me to think I've served as president of AQHA. If you look at my life, you may have thought horses weren't meant to be a part of it. It's not exactly like New Jersey's in the heart of American quarter horse country. And it can certainly be said that the concrete jungle of Paterson, New Jersey, where I'm originally from, is a long, long way from the rolling pastures and sprawling ranches that many people think of when they think of this solidly Western breed of horse. Just like my friends in New Jersey, you cared enough to support a guy like me, and you ride or lead horses like the American quarter horse. We are all part of an industry and lifestyle that is unlike any other. Yes, I am blessed, and so are each of you in this room today. A talk about dreams and wishes, passion and inspiration wouldn't be complete without telling you what an amazing corner we're turning in our association and in our world. How incredible a time it is when a movie about a horse, tested by battle and touched by kindness, would be nominated for the motion picture world's most prestigious award, Best Picture. It just underscores that the power of a horse, even today, as we could become more urban than ever, has the ability to touch us all in ways we could never imagine, proving still today that hope survives.